Perhaps the most striking of all the illustrations that could be offered of the extent to which railways facilitate the locomotion, the industry, and the subsistence of the population of large towns and cities, is afforded by the working of the railway system in connection with the capital of Great Britain. The extension of railways to London has been of comparatively recent date. The whole of the lines connecting it with the provinces and terminating at its outskirts having been opened during the last 30 years, while the lines inside London have, for the most part, been opened within the last 16 years. The first London line was the Greenwich Railway, part of which was opened for traffic to Deptford in February 1836. The working of this railway was first exhibited as a show, and the usual attractions were employed to make it draw. A band of musicians in the garb of beefeaters was stationed at the London end, and another band at Deptford. For cheapness' sake, the Deptford band was shortly superseded by a large barrel organ, which played in the passengers. But when the traffic became established, the barrel organ, as well as the beefeater band at the London end, were both discontinued. The whole length of the line was lit up at night by a row of lamps on either side, like a street, as if to enable the locomotives or the passengers to see their way in the dark, but these lamps also were eventually discontinued as unnecessary. As a show, the Greenwich Railway proved tolerably successful. During the first 11 months it carried 456,750 passengers, or an average of about 1,300 a day. But the railway having been found more convenient to the public than either the river boats or the omnibuses, the number of passengers rapidly increased. When the Croydon, Brighton and South Eastern railways began to pour their streams of traffic over the Greenwich viaduct, its accommodation was found much too limited, and it was widened from time to time, until now 9 lines of railway are laid side by side, over which more than 20 millions of passengers are carried yearly, or on average about 60,000 a day all the year round. Since the partial opening of the Greenwich Railway in 1836, a large extent of railways has been constructed in and about the metropolis, and convenient stations have been established almost in the heart of the city. 16 of these stations are within a circle of half a mile radius from the Mansion House, and above 300 stations are in actual use within about 5 miles of Charing Cross. To accommodate this vast traffic, not fewer than 3,600 local trains are run in and out daily, besides 340 trains which depart to and arrive from distant places, north, south, east and west. In the morning hours between 8:30 and 10:30, when business men are proceeding inwards to their offices and counting houses, and in the afternoon between 4 and 6, when they are returning outwards to their homes, as many as 2,000 stoppages are made in the hour within the metropolitan district for the purpose of taking up and setting down passengers, while about 2 miles of railway are covered by the running trains. One of the remarkable effects of railways has been to extend the residential area of all large towns and cities. This is especially notable in the case of London. Before the introduction of railways, the residential area of the metropolis was limited by the time occupied by business men in making the journey outwards and inwards daily, and it was for the most part bounded by Bow on the east, by Hampstead and Highgate on the north, by Paddington and Kensington on the west, and by Clapham and Brixton on the south. But now that stations have been established near the centre of the city, and places so distant as Waltham, Barnet, Watford, Hanwell, Richmond, Epsom, Croydon, Reigate and Erith can be more quickly reached by rail than the old suburban quarters were by omnibus, the metropolis has become extended in all directions along its railway lines, and the population of London, instead of living in the city or in its immediate vicinity as formerly, have come to occupy a residential area of not less than 600 square miles. The number of new towns which have consequently sprung into existence near London within the last 20 years has been very great. Towns numbering from 10 to 20,000 inhabitants, which before were but villages, if indeed they existed. This has especially been the case along the lines south of the Thames, principally in consequence of the termini of those lines being more conveniently situated for city men of business. Hence the rapid growth of the suburban towns up and down the river from Richmond